Today, we're going to dive into an earnings report that didn't just beat expectations, it totally blew them out of the water and rewrote the rules for an entire industry. We're decoding the numbers behind Sandisk's massive quarter to see exactly how AI is changing the tech landscape right before our eyes.
So picture this. January 29th, Sandisk, a huge player in memory and storage, drops its quarterly numbers. But what the market heard wasn't just another financial update. No way. It was a massive signal that the multi-billion-dollar memory industry was about to be completely upended by one single powerful force.
First up, let's talk revenue, the big number. Sandisk didn't just squeak past expectations, they soared past them by over $359 million. I mean, that's a huge beat, but honestly, it was just the warm-up act.
Okay, but here's where things get really wild. The earnings per share. Wall Street was thinking, maybe $3.30. Sandisk comes in and drops a $6.20 bombshell. They almost doubled the profit estimates. That tells you something huge is happening with their efficiency and, more importantly, their pricing power.
And if you're thinking, okay, great quarter, but was it a fluke? Well, take a look at this. On the left, that's the awesome quarter they just had, over $3 billion. But check out the right side. That's their forecast for the next quarter. They're projecting a leap to $4.6 billion. Folks, that's not just growth, that's a rocket ship taking off.
You just don't see numbers like these out of the blue. It's a sign that something deep, something fundamental, is shifting under the surface. So the big question we're going to unpack in this explainer is, what in the world is causing this tectonic shift?
All right, to really get what's happening now, we've got to rewind a little bit. We need to understand the old rules of the memory game. And trust me, it was a painful cycle that defined this industry for decades.
So what are we talking about here? It's called NAND flash memory. And look, it's the stuff that's in pretty much everything. It's in your phone, your laptop, and critically, it's the foundation of those massive data centers that run the cloud and, you guessed it, power the AI revolution.
For years, the NAND market has been a brutal place to do business. I'm talking about these vicious boom and bust cycles. One year there's a huge shortage, prices go through the roof. The very next, there's a massive glut of supply, prices crash, and profits just get vaporized. It was totally unpredictable.
So what could possibly break a cycle like that? Well, something new entered the picture. A new kind of demand. A force so huge, so hungry, it could basically eat up all the supply and still ask for seconds. And that force, of course, is AI. You don't have to take my word for it. Sandisk's own CEO, David Goeckeler, he nailed it. He said AI isn't just giving them a little bump in sales. He called it a step change, which is corporate speak for a giant, permanent leap to a whole new level of demand. It's completely rewriting the playbook. And the numbers absolutely back this up. For as long as we can remember, the biggest customers for NAND were companies making PCs and smartphones. But get this. In 2026, for the very first time, the data center, the engine room of AI, is going to be the #1 market. That changes the entire game. So just how fast is this AI demand exploding? Check this out. Sandisk just revealed that their growth forecast for data centers is jumped into the high 60% range for 2026. Just a few months ago, they were thinking maybe mid-20s. That is a mind-blowing acceleration. And here's what's so fascinating. If you look at their business right now, the data center is actually the smallest piece of the pie. But, and this is a big but, in just one single quarter, that little slice grew by 64%. It is, without a doubt, the fastest growing part of their business and probably the entire industry.
Okay, so when you have demand that's just off the charts like this, and supply is struggling to keep up, it does more than just drive up prices. It gives a company like Sandisk incredible leverage, the power to fundamentally change how they do business, and finally break free from those old, painful cycles.
This slide really lays it all out. We're moving from the old world on the left, all about those crazy cycles and brutal quarterly price wars, to this brand new model on the right. Now, demand is structural. It's here to stay. And that opens the door for long-term partnerships that are all about creating real value, not just haggling over the price every few months. So how are they actually doing it? It's pretty smart. Instead of just selling to whoever pays the most this quarter, they're building a whole new framework. First, they're prioritizing their key strategic AI customers. Then, they're building multi-year plans with them, locking in shared commitments. What does that do? It creates predictability for both Sandisk and their customers, which is the magic ingredient you need to invest and grow for the long haul. So let's zoom out. What does this all really mean for the bigger picture? Because this isn't just about one company's quarterly earnings. This is about the very foundation of our digital future.
The CEO's vision here is crystal clear. He's saying this whole shift is making the NAND industry more durable, more stable, and ultimately more profitable. And why does that matter to us? Well, a stable supply of this stuff is absolutely critical for the AI revolution to keep chugging along. Without it, the whole engine could sputter. So let's boil it all down. The key takeaway here is simple but profound. AI is creating permanent structural demand for memory. It's not a temporary spike, and that is finally ending that old painful boom and bust cycle. It's bringing stability to one of the most critical components in the entire tech world. The fundamental economics of how we build our digital future, they are being rewritten as we speak. And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to chew on. The insane demand from AI just shattered a business model that had been in place for decades. So as this AI revolution keeps picking up speed, you have to wonder, which industry's old rules are going to be broken next?